Hey everybody, this is Captain Phillip with Airworthy Tours, and today's tour is about Civil War forts in Louisiana. Our first stop is Fort Pike. Fort Pike was built between 1819 to 1826 by French engineer Simon Bernard. The purpose of this fort was to protect New Orleans from invasion by way of the Gulf. However, it never saw a battle, not even during the Civil War. In 1862, Union troops retook the fort after the capture of New Orleans, but not before the retreating Confederate soldiers destroyed the guns and burned down the wooden structures. The Union forces would use Fort Pike as a training facility and was the site where freed slaves were trained in heavy artillery. These slaves turned soldiers would go on to fight in the pivotal Battle of Port Hudson. Below is Spanishsport, established by the French in the early 18th century to protect New Orleans from attack by way of Lake Pontchartrain. It was rebuilt by the Spanish in 1779 and restored by the Americans in 1808. Next is Fort St Phillip, built by the Spanish in the 1700s. Its purpose was to protect the Louisiana coast and New Orleans from naval attacks by way of the Mississippi River. In 1815, the fort withstood a British attack and was the last battle fought during the War of 1812. Today, Fort St Phillip is only accessible by boat, helicopter, or drone. Across the river is Fort Jackson, which was built on the recommendations of General Andrew Jackson following the Battle of New Orleans. During the Civil War, Admiral David Farragut's fleet pounded both forts for 10 days before they surrendered to the Union forces. In the following years, Fort Jackson was used as a prison, a training facility, and fortified again during the Spanish-American War. Fort Jackson was last used during World War I as a training facility, and then was retired after the war. It is now accessible to the public as a historical site. If you enjoyed today's tour, you can tip your tour guide by hitting the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel to be a part of future aerial tours. Thank you for flying with Airworthy Tours, and we look forward to seeing you on our next flight.